one musician is doing the sound check, all others should keep quiet.
As soon as you reach the stage, first thing you have to do is keep your stuff ready, keep it on the stand and be ready for the sound check.
Okay, correct.
By insulting him, by taking names, and there are a lot of people who have that habit of not coming on sound check or not doing sound check properly and then abusing the sound engineer, putting everything on him. Like a hand kick from South India will sound different and hand kick from Bombay will sound different. So then, and it is traveling all the time. This equipment is traveling through trucks, so temperature and so the tuning continuously changes. The best part of all these instruments are on their own, they sound different. See, as far as I am concerned, the source is the most important thing for me. So first, getting their source correct. Basically, tuning their drum kit.
Okay.
That's first. Using correct sticks.
Right.
Checking the skins are good, dampening them. Basically, making their instrument sound correct. The pickup, like for example, I was working with a guitarist whose guitar had a problem. His pickup, there was some problem with the pickup. So I was not getting the correct sound. It was not coming. The 6 strings were not coming balanced.
Oh, okay.
But at that time, what can I do? I can't do anything at that moment. So I had to use a contact mic, which is used for a sitar and stuff like that. I had put that on the guitar to the place which the part of that strings which are not heard properly. I put that added into that mix. This is the last minute thing, corrections what we have to do. There's another problem with the this is basically the tuning your guitar, getting the strings correct. Newer strings are before coming to the concert they have been stretched and whatever.
Correct.
Use not right on the gig.
Correct.
All those basically keeping their instruments, their patches leveled from piano to strings to this on their own. They should be able to understand how it is. For a song which is going to be loud, they need to have strings louder for that, louder patch for that. For solos, their normal distortion patch has to be louder for solo. So there has to be a separate switch which will change it to the solo patch. That has to be that quick. So I don't need to run around constantly. I am doing a lot outside anyways. But from the source, if those changes are done, everybody gets it.
So you mean to say that they should play or they should be ready with every individual musician should be ready with all songs and the entire sequence of the song, what is going to happen in that song, and his technically volume wise, mainly say volume wise and tone wise, he should be ready before he says that okay, we are ready.
Yes. So that is his first job.
Okay.
As soon as he comes, getting his amps correctly, levels correctly, getting the guitar sound he wants, checking all the patches on his own, and then telling me he's ready.
So he has to do, I mean, most of the musicians have to do it on stage, just whatever they have done it at their home or their studio. Is not going to
because
work.
that day is going to be different. He might get a different amp. He might get an amp which is very old. He might get an amp which is bright new, absolutely. So they have different responses. So all that on that day, that amp, their guitar, the humidity, everything, there are lots of things which change. For a tabla player, this affects a lot. The weather affects a lot, humidity affects a lot, sound check, time, temperature. So all that affects. So tuning their instruments correctly, keeping them ready, and then keeping their hands folded. Once that is done, that's what is expected. So then there is no time, because if I am communicating with somebody, he can't hear because the other guy is playing constantly. So it affects everybody involved. So that reduces the time.
One instrumentalist or one musician is doing the sound check, all others should keep quiet.
And before that, but they have to be ready.
As
soon as you reach the stage, first thing you have to do is keep your stuff ready, keep it on the stand, and be ready for the sound check.
This comes to a different question. It comes to my mind. I have seen many a times. Lot of times, some particular musicians, not in like one person as such, say tabla player or guitar player or any. So they constantly are asking the sound engineer to increase their level. The guitar player is complaining that he cannot hear. Why is that?
That's
and
what I.
How what they should do with the sound, they should tell the sound engineer so that they don't have to do it in the concert.
No, the simple, there could be different reasons why a person is not able to hear. As I said, that chai chain, it could be problem with me. It could be problem with the mixer, it could be problem with the wrong connection, it could be problem with the receiver, it could be problem with the transmitter. These are the technical issues where that signal is not going. But if he is able to hear snare and not able to hear guitar, then there could be some other problem, which could be a phase problem. Okay. Like if it is a stereo guitar and he is taking it mono, so there could be phase inverse because of the cables. If it has happened, one of the gigs outside it is sounding correct and he is not getting it right. So then, if the moment I change the phase, it was correct inside and outside. So yeah, basically it is not always guitarist's fault or the person. Many times sound engineers at fault and they will not even do anything about it. So first is to find the fault before. You know, if as I said first, if an artist is uncomfortable, there is a reason. So as a sound engineer, my job is to satisfy him. So first I have to understand what is the problem. Then the solution comes. Problem could be technical, which I told you about. It could be phase issues, it could be receiver issues, it could be RF radio frequency on a cordless instruments that comes, and that will add a sound. That is making them uncomfortable. So I have to figure out what the problem is. Second problem, at the musician level, it could be that something else is louder than that, which is fighting frequency. Like a kick and bass are taken at the wrong level so that he is not able to hear something. Or he is not able to hear vocals because he has taken guitar so loud in his monitors that is fighting. There is a frequency fighting. So this is the issue of the engineer, the artist. He is not understanding what is happening. So he is constantly asking his instrument to be up because he needs to hear it louder. So there again I have to find out what the problem is by either listening to his mix, if it's in-ears from the console, I leave the console, I go on stage and actually stand there and see what the problem is. It could be like in a classical situation, it has happened that the artist is not able to hear himself, herself clearly. The reason being they are sitting down and the monitors are placed like this. So sound is going like this. They are hearing it, but they are not getting that focus directly. So just changing the angle solves it. The mic is here and they are trying to sing. I am not getting bass, so the mic has to be here. So there are so many factors which could be the reason for the problem that is there. So first and foremost for me as a sound engineer is to understand what the problem is and then find a solution for it. So that at the end of it, my job is to make them comfortable on stage and it has to be heard properly outside. So it saves everybody the trouble of during the gig constantly asking for stuff. So that's why the sound check is.
So to summarize first, what you told or what we discussed previously. Number one, they have to be in there on time for a sound check. They have to come for the sound check. They have to stay there, ready with their instrument to their satisfaction, and they have to follow the instructions what sound engineer is giving them without having any ego issues. I am playing so fantastic, as you said that the song I am playing doom doom doom. So if he tells you to play, don't play that. I know you are fantastic, but play that. He has to do it without any. If they all do it, 99% of the times we can predict that they won't have much problem in the
and the levels also.
Exactly.
Especially with percussion players, it has happened many times where during a gig they know that after everybody starts playing 10% louder when the audience comes in, and then sound check levels and show levels are different. It's the psychological thing. Nobody does it intentionally, but there is a difference. So I keep that margin. So when I do the sound check, I keep that margin. Thoda loud aane wala hai. So I will have my compressors set accordingly. Ki isse upar gaya, so I should be able to control it. But there are certain artists who, in the fear that they will not be here, they hear themselves enough during the show, they will play soft during the sound check intentionally. And during the gig, they will play loud. So this kind of people create trouble everywhere. So that is going to affect everybody's mix.
Correct.
They don't understand that. And in a classical situation, everything, we have been talking about the band situation. And when it comes to classical, the first thing that happens is the budgets are reduced. So the equipment that you get is not prime equipment. Because it is part and parcel. There are a lot of, because the budget goes down everywhere, sound engineers also not there. The very few classical artists travel with a sound engineer whom they are comfortable with, they are ready to spend that money for their comfort.
Correct.
But that is not common in India.
True.
So then they have another challenge of communicating to whoever there is in his language and his understanding. Then it starts using their chelas to go in the audience and communicate to him, not the other person. That chela communicates to him. So there is a chain of communication, and that screws up everything. Nor he can do anything, nor the artist can do anything. And basically the thing is sitting here on stage. You cannot judge what is happening outside. That is another problem with classical artists. Because they have been used to aujas and old speaker systems where the backs were open. They were open back speakers.
Okay.
So you could hear the speakers on stage as well.
Right.
And that time the technology or equipment was not available for them where the feedback could be reduced. Like the 31 band EQs, which normally will help. In earlier times, it was not part and parcel of the classical concert at all. It used to be two speakers in front, 2 speakers for the audience. That's it.
Right.
So whenever there was a feedback, the only thing they could do was reduce monitors. So the moment that was happening, they were dependent on the auditorium sound which was coming back to them. So they have developed, the older generation developed that as a habit of listening to the audience sound.
Okay, auditorium sound.
Auditorium sound. And during sound check that is different, during show that is different, because once the people sit, they absorb.
Correct.
You don't know what frequencies they'll absorb because it depends on how they are sitting,
Right.
where the mic position, what is the angle of the speaker. So
Correct.
it changes.
Correct.
So then during sound check it is different, and arey baad mein change ho gaya. It's completely changed. Why? So they are not ready for, because they are not taking it in monitors loud enough now. So this was okay at that time. Now systems have changed. Now you can't hear anything from the PA behind, because that is how they are designed. There a lot of research has gone in to do this. There's no bleeding on, there shouldn't be any bleeding on stage. Okay. So there's a lot of research, there's a lot of money spent, so you get expensive stuff now, right, which does not bleed on stage, and that is a problem with classical art. They can't hear anything, and they are afraid of taking anything in the monitors. There will be some feedback, or they are working with an engineer who is not capable of taking care of that, or there's a time delay, because it is a very irritating sound. If an artist comes and that sound comes, the first thing is this, they want to save their ears, and second is come kar. Reduce it. I don't want this sound to come, because that's very irritating. These frequencies are very jarring. Right. So their first reaction is reduce it. The moment that reduce happens, they can't hear themselves. So the outside sound badao. That doesn't give you feedback. Feedback meaning feedback noises, but it gives you the surrounding sound, which changes with audience coming in. So then it starts, after the concert starts, and there is always somebody doing this. Ungli uthao. The sound engineer is constantly at risk for increase in volume, and he cannot, because he knows the moment he'll put it up is going to feedback.
Correct.
So it's a vicious circle which continues for a concert. So as I said, for a classical concert now is only classical concerts left where there's a monitor speakers. All the bands have gone to in-ears. Right. The feedback issue is gone.
Right.
Now only feedback that can happen is from the PA. If the PA is too close,
right,
this is the stage and this is the PA.
Correct.
So if it is too loud, then the mics will catch that, and there is a possibility of feed from the PA, not from stage.
Okay.
So in a way that helps, but in a classical situation there are always still monitors. So then first thing I do is, as I said, is to pump the microphone into that monitor, pump it as much as I can, check all the feeding frequencies, take them out before the artist comes.
Okay.
So whenever he asks for more volume, I should be able to give it like that without any.
Because you already
I have already taken those frequencies. And then if still they can't hear, then that could be the angle problem. That could be the speaker has stopped working. The cable is not connected properly, or the wire has been, somebody's pulled a wire. Somebody walking and is pulled a wire. So
in live situation,
lot of things that can go wrong.
So in their situation, what would you suggest is the best solution for them to get a good sound in a limited resources?
First is trust the sound engineer, whoever it is, whatever he is doing it, right? You don't have any control over it.
Right.
You are going to perform. So you have to focus on your performance. So for which you need to be comfortable.
Right.
So tell him what you want on stage. Leave him to take care of the outside sound. If you are going to do this and that, and you are going to go out and listen to it and go and tell him, you are completely losing focus on your performance. Or you are dependent on somebody from your team who is going to stand there and he is going to say your guitar is little less, then you are going to tell him guitar badhao bahar. So the whole focus of your performance is gone. Concentrate on your performance. During sound check, concentrate on listening to everybody correctly at your levels. Leave it to do his job. Trust him, whoever, whatever it is. Trust him to do that job.
Am I right to say that the band should focus only on the stage sound?
Yes, absolutely.
And they should
Absolutely.
leave the entire house, like front of the house,
Yes.
is the newer terminology,
Yes.
auditorium sound, to the main
Whoever
sound.
that is, with whatever capacity he is doing his level best. He is not there to, do a bad job of it.
Correct, true.
On whatever ability he has, he is there to do a good job of it. So
Correct.
by insulting him, by taking names, and there are a lot of people who have that habit of not coming on sound check or not doing sound check properly, and then abusing the sound engineer, putting everything on him. So
I have seen that happen.
so that's a very bad thing to do. Respect
of
whoever
course.
is doing what. Like I have worked with like Amjad Ali Khan sahab. He is such a human being I have worked with, where he's disciplined. He'll ask me once he comes, Nitin, I have tuned my guitar, I'm ready. Can I play? Yes,
Sarod.
yes, Khan sahab. Sarod. So he'll start playing his Sarod. Once it is done, at one concert, the tabla player started playing. The first thing he asked was, "Pucha Nitin ko, bajana hai nahi?"
He asked the tabla player.
Yes.
Achha.
आपने बजाना तो चालू कर दिया, but has he given you permission to play? Is he checking your tabla? So that is the kind of respect he showed. I am working with Shubha Mudgal for last 12 years. I haven't seen a professional as her. The way she carries herself, she is one classical artist who will never miss a sound check. Whatever time, Nitin, what time you want me? Shivaji, ye time. She'll be there. And she'll be wholeheartedly there for that sound check. No, nothing else. So that she knows that, and she whatever sound outside, Nitin, that is your area.
Okay.
She will never bother me with what I am doing outside. That's why she has hired me. So she trusts me
Right.
for the outside sound.
Right.
Whatever she wants, she'll ask me till the time she is satisfied. So I have
Okay.
gone till the time. She will not. I mean, she's very particular about it. Nitin, I am not still happy. Can you please come on stage? Yeah, of course. I'll go on stage, try and find a problem, take care of that problem, and then come back to the concert. I will make her comfortable, but she'll only ask for what she wants on stage. That's it.
Okay.
And then she'll leave it to me.
So, what happens with Sivamani? Like I am curious because he has some incredible array of sounds.
Yeah.
Like right from some very, very huge, like big drums, to some tiny cymbals or some hand percussion, to sequenced
Electronic
sounds,
stuff, yeah.
electronic, lot of electronic sounds, and I am sure that he quite well knows what he does.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a pleasure to work with. As I said, the person who understands sound.
So tell us something more about Shivamani,
basically
because
his
he's a
setup.
unique artist. in
Yeah, he
himself.
is unique. Now, the first thing is he carries around 150 kgs of stuff he carries.
That's a reduced weight, I believe.
That is reduced weight, but presently, like 150 kgs of hardware he carries. Rest of it is specced from the local backline supplier.
Okay,
A
okay.
kick, a flute arm, cymbal stand, the heavy stuff to reduce weight while traveling.
Correct.
So all that is done. So his boys will come 3 hours prior.
Oh,
3 hours to 4 hours prior. It is set up. The equipment takes around 3 hours to set up. Out of which first 2 hours, post first 2 hours, I come in. Because half of the setup is done. I start miking from this side.
okay.
And by the time they are doing the water setup and other stuff,
So, whatever number of instruments he has, almost he has equal number of, or at least like comparable number of microphones there. Or
32
lineups.
microphones. 32 channels I get on my console from one person. And it doesn't stop there. There are 12 other channels which go to a small mixer on stage, which go to a looper so that he can loop anything while performing.
Oh, yes.
And 2 outs
Yes.
come to me.
Okay.
So I have 34 outputs coming from me. There are microphones here. So there are lots of microphones. There is a microphone in the suitcase. So all that is playing, everything is mic'd. And all mics are open all the time.
All the time.
Because I don't know what he is going to play. Initially when I started working with him some 12, 15 years back, the first few concerts, I was scared of the feedback.
Huh.
He still uses wedges. So there are 3 monitors and 1 sub. And now in-ears added. So he has all that surrounded. So I was scared of feedback. And he stays always on the stage. If I am looking at the stage, on the stage left, and right ahead on the stage.
Okay.
So there's a possibility of feedback from the PA also because it's
close to the
Yes.
main array.
So all this I was earlier scared, so I used to mute certain sections of the mic.
Okay.
And one he was playing and he just put his hand here and he played something else. There was no sound. He looked at me. So I realized no, this I can't do. So everything is on all the time.
Wow.
So with everything on, I have to check for feeds on the monitors, on the PA, everything that is. Has
Okay.
Again but that I cannot check before because my time goes into setting up everything. Once he comes, he tunes the stuff because he'll play stuff. No, this is not sounding well. Because he keeps two kits. There are two parallel kits. One kit is kept at Chennai. One kept at Bombay in his godowns. So which side, South India side, the Chennai stuff boys come with their stuff. So the instruments also change.
Right.
Like a hand kick from South India will sound different, and hand kick from Bombay will sound different. So then, and it is traveling all the time. This equipment is traveling through trucks, so temperature and so the tuning continuously changes. The best part of all these instruments are on their own they sound different. They are designed like a hand kick to a kick.
Yeah, main kick.
To the snare, to the rototoms. Everything is on their own, they are designed to sound differently.
Correct.
So I don't need to start EQing anything because they are different. It is my gain structure that is the most crucial.
Okay.
Depending on his playing. Again, I cannot do a sound check which is assistance. I can do only line check.
Why is that so?
I am telling you. Because I can do only line check. All lines are working. When his assistant plays, the kick will start dick, dick. When he comes, it's the same kick starts sounding with the same gains and everything. Dick, dick. It's the human. It is the human. It's the human being. Is that touch, his experience, his understanding of the instrument, everything, the snare sounds different. So earlier again, that mistake I used to do. I used to do a whole sound check with his assistant, then he used to come and everything sounds different. I had to work again, so I stopped doing that. So I mic everything and I wait for him. He is another guy, he will be, whatever time you are given, he will be 10 minutes before there. Then because there are lots of instruments, he takes time to get everything precisely where he wants, because for his
height
movement,
and everything?
height, because he is doing so much in such short time and very quickly, so he has to move from here to here. So there has to be that correct distance everywhere.
Okay.
He takes time after coming. He takes time to get all his stuff to where angles, to height, everything is set, and then he's ready for me. Nitin, ready, kick, chal.
And for a 10-15 minutes performance also, both of you have to
5 minutes to 45 minutes. This doesn't change.
This doesn't change.
Because in a 5-minute performance also, he will play everything at least once. At least once.
Yes.
So that's how it is. And this is like a solo performance. But when it is with different artists, if it is a 1.5 hour performance, he cannot just carry it on just percussions.
Right.
Listening to percussions for more than 45 minutes, it's difficult to carry the audience.
Correct.
So then there are musicians he travels with. So there's an array of musicians he works with. So that again changes every time.
So when you are called for a Sivamani performance, for a Sivamani band, I know I have seen him many times. He has his own band also. Like musicians keep changing.
Yes.
So you also mix for them, or there is another mixer?
It depends. It depends on how many musicians there. If it's like a film stuff, a launch function where there is Sivamani has played for a music director and audio launch is happening. So that music director's band is there.
Okay.
And Siva just plays with them.
Right.
And I have a separate mixer. There's another engineer who is mixing that, and there are lines which come from here to there.
Okay.
So I only am concentrated on Siva.
You are focusing only on Siva.
Absolutely on Siva. For his outside sound, and my output goes to the main mixer and he mixes with rest of the band as this. But if it's Siva's band, then I mix everything. Like it's 4 or 5 people, 2 or 3 people, like all that. So then I mix everything.
Yeah. Again, depends he does 3 or 4 musicians.
He has different outfit. There's one called Yes Triangle with Shankar Madhavan also. Recently we did very few nice gigs with him. That's an open-ended stuff. So the sound check is sound check.
Right.
And then there's concert. There's nothing decided. But everything flows because all are like impulsive and extempore performers. They can take that.
Right.
Everybody can ride that.
Right. They can handle the energy.
So then there are kinds where there's rehearsed stuff. Sometimes there's completely unrehearsed stuff.
Okay.
So
different for Sivamani also. Every day is quite different.
100%. Like it starts from aaj kya hai extra. If it's a Bombay gig, there's no transportation involved, right?
Right.
Meaning there's no excess baggage.
Correct, correct.
So there are a lot of stuff comes.
Oh, so his setup also changes.
I'll get
if
40
it is-
inputs.
Oh,
From 32, it goes to 40.
so if it is
Because
in
it's a
Chennai
Mumbai
or
game. Yeah.
Mumbai,
Yeah,
it will be like from 32 it is straight 40.
Now, you see Chennai also more.
Correct.
If it is anywhere traveling, then it is
Then
reduced.
maybe it is reduced.
So everything changes, every day changes to how rested he is, also it changes.
Oh, okay.
How many gigs he has done and he has come. So his mind also, you know, and he's an artist. So if he is well rested, then the sound check is quicker. Also.
okay.
So he is into that, what do you call, peaceful state of mind. So then he is concentrating. Otherwise, if his mind is somewhere else,
Right.
for whatever reasons,
Correct.
so then the sound check changes.